So, the leader of the right wing political group in Brazil, Bolsonaro, is seeking to imprison a journalist named Glenn Greenwald. And this has implications for all of us that we should all focus on. The reason is it's very similar to the Assange story, where you have someone who has been critical of kind of shady practices of a government and outed the information that a whistleblower brought them, and both have been criminalized for these actions. We need to start, even if it's against politicians that seemingly we would be in support of, we need to stop criminalizing journalists that are trying to report evidence that whistleblowers bring them about corruption that could be occurring in governments. It doesn't matter what side the journalist is on. It doesn't matter what side the government's on. This shouldn't be a left-right issue. Now, let me be totally honest. I come from a right-wing background. I would call myself a conservative. Bolsonaro seems right-wing, so you would think, oh, I'll defend Bolsonaro. No, he shouldn't be jailing people that are outing corruption in his administration or just bringing the evidence that whistleblowers are bringing. If you look at Glenn Greenwald and me disagree on almost everything, probably. He's someone who's left-wing. He hates Trump. He wants Trump removed from office. Those are all things that I'm completely against him. But he understands, like in the United States, for example, the intel agencies, the corruption that they've engaged in, and he worked with Snowden to kind of release information showing some of the shadiness that was going on then. Regardless, me being aligned against Glenn Greenwald usually, or with Bolsonaro usually, those things don't matter. What matters is we need to have integrity and realize there are dangers to doing things such as criminalizing outing governmental corruption, even if you don't agree with the story. Now, the actual crime that Greenwald's accused of committing by Bolsonaro's government is hacking into cell phones that somehow then brought story of this corruption of the Bolsonaro administration. But Greenwald claims he just had a whistleblower bring him the information already, and Greenwald himself had no task in trying to break encrypted phones or anything like that. And the fact that he's just being suggested being charged with a crime without any proof is very disturbing. It's also disturbing the treatment that Assange has gotten, and I should talk more about this. Because this is the front line on being able to step up and say there is corruption in the government. If they could do this to Assange, if they could do this to Glenn Greenwald, then why can't they do it to me, and why can't they do it to you? They don't have to use just the process of legally placing you in jeopardy. They could smear your name. They could have their corporate dummies such as YouTube or Google or Twitter shadow ban you, demonetize you, and things like that. This is all designed to keep the establishment in power. Regardless of it being a left-right issue, it's an established, that's not the case. It's an establishment versus those seeking to show the corruption of the establishment. Even though I disagree with Glenn Greenwald, it's even more important that when I see people that I dislike or that I disagree with, I don't personally dislike Glenn Greenwald, but that I disagree with being attacked in this way, each and every one of us should defend those people's rights just as hard, if not harder, than the people that we're more aligned with. Because if we allow those people to be attacked by the establishment, then there'll be no one left to defend us when the establishment comes for us. Look at the video I just did on Tulsi Gabbard. This is exactly what I've been warning my friends on the left of for 3 years now. If you cheer the intel agency's corruption against Trump, if you cheer the media corruption and the establishment Democrat corruption against Trump, eventually that will be turned on you. That is exactly what happened to Tulsi Gabbard. If we on the right, or we that are conservatives, or we that are Trump supporters, support this treatment of Glenn Greenwald just because Greenwald doesn't like Trump, or just because Bolsonaro seems to be right-wing, then we're no better than the hypocrites that cheer on the intel agencies going after Trump. I will not leave my integrity be sacrificed because I perceive someone on my side or not. So I support Glenn Greenwald. I am against these charges, and I think that all of us that care about freedom and possibly getting truth and outing corruption of establishment governments around the world should support him as well. So thank you. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you check out the description, you could find how to follow me on Patreon, on PayPal, on BitChute, and on Twitter. And I'd really appreciate any of the support I could get so I could put out new content. I'll be doing a live stream noon Eastern time, Friday. And I'll be putting more material out as the week goes on. So thank you, everyone, and have a good one.